even within the context of a given metric, you have to really deeply understand, like, what is the problem that we're trying to solve. We're not even trying to be predictable for predictability's sake, right? It's not just the team can make and meet commitments, but we also, that stable velocity has to be a leading indicator of the lagging indicator. That means we're going to be ready for the client when we get there. This is such a common problem when you have teams that are doing support, is that oftentimes it causes us to actually change how we're managing the work, right, to actually meet the goal of predictability that we want to do. And so, just at a really high level, you could imagine almost like a Kanban with like two different classes of service, right? There's like a project class of service, right? And then there's a break fix class of service, right? And you can throttle, right? You can create different buffering strategies. And so we've got, let's just say something really, let's actually maybe go a little bit more. It's like analysis, design, kind of build, test, deploy, Kanban queue, or maybe it's a not started, in process, done, Scrum queue. But then over here, we have, we have whatever it is that we do for break fix work. And so the strategy would be, it's like, okay, we are going to contain this thing to 75% of our capacity. We're going to contain this thing to 25% of our capacity. We might say something like the product owner owns this queue. Maybe we have like a ServiceNow kind of a thing that owns this queue. And so what we want to do is we want to stabilize velocity for the project work. But then we also want to throttle this queue to be able to deliver things in a really predictable way. So basically, we understand the size of the work. We understand its depth in the queue. We understand our average cycle time, right? Our variance, right? All those kinds of things. And we can start to predict when things are going to come out over here. Maybe we design a queue where, like, this has like an urgent class of service where if something's particularly hot, right, we know that we can get it done in any given sprint. So it's an interesting thing, right? This interplay between how you design metrics, and then when it's again, right, you can just game it, right? So if it's just to stabilize velocity, like, I can make my velocity stable. I've had teams basically try to put meeting time. They have unpredictable meetings, right? So they try to put meeting time in their velocity so that they stabilize their velocity. I've literally had people want to put lunch hours and things like that, like do all kinds of crazy things to want to stabilize their velocity. But the reality is velocity is really super important to understand. It's really super important to stabilize, but again, not even for its own sake, only to the extent that it's a leading indicator of the lagging indicator that you really care about.